Hi guys, it's Cindy, aka Disney Queen. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 mistakes that I see first time park goers make. And I'm hoping that this will help some of you who are planning your first ever trip. I would say the very first thing that I see a lot of people do is not doing any planning. Now, you don't have to do a long list of things and you don't have to plan every millisecond, but before you go to the park, there are a few things you should know about Disney parks. Um, you should do a little research about where you're going to stay. You should do a little research about the parks and the attractions, and especially attractions for your children. The worst thing you want to do is get to a park and have an attraction that you've built up for your child that one they can't get on, or one they might get scared when they get on, or just maybe is not ready for their age. Um, I've seen people go to the parks and then they're all excited. Um, they want them to meet the characters, and then their child is afraid of the characters, and then they're forcing them to take a picture when in reality, the child is just like freaking out and has had enough. So, the you don't have to do like the kind of research that like a Disney addict would do, but you should know a little bit about where you're going. The second mistake that I see that people make a lot of times when they're planning for a Disney trip is they don't plan for the weather. People assume that if you go to Disney any time of the year in Florida, that the weather is going to be warm. Some people are not prepared for the extreme heat, and some people are not prepared for the times when Disney actually is cold. So it's important before you leave that you look at your weather app, or you check out online to see what the weather will be like there, because it'll make a difference in how you pack, what clothing you will take. That's just something that's really important, for you to know what the weather is like. Don't expect it's going to be nice, warm weather. As a matter of fact, don't expect that it's not going to rain, because Florida is well known for its rain. And that would probably take me to my third um, tip for first timers. Take rain gear. It's Florida, it will rain. That's just a given, that the weather is going to be unpredictable. So it's better to be prepared ahead of time. That's kind of like a little bonus check. The other thing that I would say that people don't take into consideration their first trip is allowing time to get from park to park. Uh, Walt Disney World, especially, is a huge, uh, almost like a city within itself. So if you have a reservation at a park at a certain time of the day, you have to allot time to get from, let's say, your hotel to that park, then to be able to get into the reservation, especially if you're going to eat within the park. If you are trying to get a fast pass, you want to allot time in between the time that you go on one ride so that you can get to your fast pass. If you're hoping to hop from park to park, take into consideration the transportation will take you a little bit. Now, if you're driving yourself, it may not take as long as if you're getting on a bus or the monorail. And one thing that I don't think a lot of people are prepared for, and this goes to my first point about how you have to do a little planning or know a little bit about the parks. One thing that most people don't consider is when you go to Magic Kingdom, you have to not only just go to your to where you're, like if you're at a hotel, you have to get on the bus. Then you have to the bus has to get you there. And then when you get to Magic Kingdom, you don't automatically go into the park. You do if you're on a bus. But if you are driving, or if you are, especially if you're driving, I take that back, rewind. If you are driving to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, you will have to go to parking, and then you will have to get to the transportation center, and then from the transportation center you will be getting on the monorail or a boat to get to Magic Kingdom. So you need to allot time for that, because I remember the first time we went, as much planning it I had done, I wasn't prepared for the fact that yes, you get to the transportation and ticket center, and then you have to then get on the monorail or the boat, which I love. I love the transportation at Disney, so I love getting on the boat, I love getting on the monorail. But like, if you're anticipating that you're just going to get in your car and, and then get right there to the park, that's not going to happen. The other thing is, once you get to the parking area, before you even get to the transportation and ticket center, depending on where you're parked, you have to take the tram to get to your next transportation. So Magic Kingdom takes a little bit of time. Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot, you can literally park and then walk to the park, or take the tram. Magic Kingdom is an exception. The only exception to that rule is if you're coming from one of the monorail resorts. The monorail will drop you off right there near where you go in for check-in, and then the buses will take you directly to the park. So that is a saving. So sometimes when we drive, we will leave our car and catch the bus, and then take that to Magic Kingdom, because that cuts down on a little bit of the time. The next thing that I don't think people prepare for is wearing the proper footwear when going to the park. When you go to a Disney park, you are going to do more walking than you've ever done in your life. I mean, like 21,000 plus steps, if not a little bit more. So the last thing that you want to do is take brand new shoes and try to break them in. I recently watched a video where this family was going for the first time, and the mother was all excited, and she just couldn't wait because she had bought these new shoes for her children to wear, and oh my goodness, those poor babies had blisters on their feet by the end of their trip. It is important to take shoes that you already have worn a few times. It's okay to buy some new shoes for Disney. I do that all the time. When I go, I usually get a new pair of tennis shoes. I get a new pair, I get some new socks. But I try to make sure that I walk in them and wear them before we leave for our trip, so that my feet have gotten comfortable with them, because the last thing you want to do is to be walking like 13,000 miles per day. That might be an exaggeration. I don't think it is. You don't want to be walking a lot and then walking in brand new shoes, and then having those shoes put blisters on your feet, or even worse, make your feet to the point where you can't walk. You have to have shoes that are broken in. Whatever that shoe is for you that you're most comfortable in. I personally wear tennis shoes when I go to the parks, because I don't want my feet to be uncomfortable. I don't want my feet to hurt, and I don't want to go home with blisters. And I've been really blessed. I have not had that issue, and it's because I don't wear brand new shoes. The last tip that I would say, and it's kind of maybe even like a bonus tip, is I would say, also in conjunction with the weather, take sunscreen. And I'm going to say this to my sisters of my skin tone. We tend to think that we don't have to worry about sunscreen, but I'm going to tell you, it is something about the Florida heat and the sun. And actually, you should be doing this no matter where you are. You should be wearing sunscreen. Guys, skin cancer is no joke. And I'm just going to put that out there. Protect your skin. If you're going in May, from May through late October, you definitely need to have on some sunscreen. But even past October into November and December and January, it is Florida, and it's gonna get sunny, it's gonna get hot, but you're gonna be out in the elements a long time, And it is important to take care of your skin. So I'm just putting that out there. I know that we think we don't have to wear it, but I'm telling you, take some sunscreen and put it on you and put it on your babies, because you do not, having your skin burnt is no fun, no matter who you are. And this is just things that will, I know I've been talking about, how to budget for a trip. And I know some people was like, well, what does this have to do with? You spend a lot of money going to Disney. And the last thing that you want to do is go to Disney and be uncomfortable or get sick or not be able to enjoy your trip because your feet are hurting or you didn't properly prepare for the weather. So you're not spending times in the parks, because I'm going to tell you, a little tip to know is when it is raining, that is the best time to be at the park. A lot of Disney rides are inside rides, so you're not going to be out in the element very long. Now, if it's a monsoon or a hurricane, that's a different story. But if it's just raining, which Florida will do, you can be prepared, and then you can stay in the parks and have fun when everybody else who's not prepared leaves and goes somewhere else. And that's time that's not wasted, because it's not cheap to go to Disney. So you want to make the best of the time that you have there. The last little thing that I would say to you as a tip that you need to remember when you go to Disney is, the very first time that we went, we thought it was the only time we'd ever go. It was like a once in a lifetime trip in our eyes. And we rushed everywhere. And one advice that I would give to anyone is, first of all, you can't see everything, so don't even try. And take the time to enjoy the trip. Yes, you spend a lot of money, and yes, you have saved and budgeted for this trip, and you're excited to go. But if you get home and you can't remember, or you don't have any memories from that trip because you've been rushing here and there and everywhere, it's just not worth it. There are so many little details about Walt Disney World that are so extra special. And my advice to anyone is, just enjoy your trip. Don't get overly stressed that you didn't get on every ride, that you didn't get every fast pass, that you didn't get to eat at every restaurant that you had on your list, or that you didn't get to see every character that you wanted to see. Enjoy the trip. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy just soaking in the magic that is Walt Disney World, that is Disney, or whichever Disney park that you get to go to. The memories that'll stay with you the most are not the memories that you can necessarily buy. It's the memories of that time with family, seeing your child's face light up when they saw Mickey for the first time. Those are the memories that'll stay with you for a lifetime. I love my pictures. I love all the souvenirs that I can get from Disney. But honestly, if I had to choose between spending a lot of money on souvenirs and even the dining and even the everything else, I would choose to have that time in the parks with my family. Those are memories that will last me a lifetime. I could lose some of the other stuff. It could get damaged. It could be in a fire. It could get lost. We've lost things at Disney. We lost a whole camera with memories on it. But those memories are still in my head. They're still in my heart. And that is what makes me go back to Disney time after time again. So I would say, if nothing else, those are the things that you need to remember. Don't make the same mistakes that we made when we first went. And I'm just saying that because that's kind of why I'm doing this. Little segments of budgeting and tips for Disney World for like first timers, because I'm telling you, it I don't want to say Disney changed my life, but Disney is a big part of my life, and the most memorable parts of that are just the times that I spent with family. Taking my mom for the first time, being there with my godparents before my godfather died. I appreciate the trip that we just took 2 years ago before my husband had his stroke. Um, I cherish the times when my kids were smaller and we got to see and take them to Disney more than one time. uh, those are memories I won't forget. I am looking forward to the day when I can take my nieces to Disney, or when I can take my own grandchildren to Disney. um, so above everything else, if I would tell people the one thing you need to remember when you go is, for the most part, most people say they're gonna go one time, but if they fall in love with it, they're gonna go back again. And that is the reason why I say just enjoy the small moments. Don't get caught up in all the things that could have been, should have been, didn't do, because there's always an opportunity to do it again. And the next time you go, there'll be something else new, because Disney is always changing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Just hit that button below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that what I'm doing, somebody is actually liking. Tell me, what's the one thing that you would do differently if you could go back and do your first ever trip to Disney, now that you know what you know? And if you've never been to Disney and you're about to go, please let me know how your trip was. So until I see you the next time, I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.